Hey, this is Satyam. I'm a student of BCA first year.
Hey, yeah, I'm
And
here and ready to help. What's on your mind today?
I'm a student of BCA first year, and I just want to discuss with you some Python questions. So you have to ask, and I will try to answer. And also, you can ask like MLDL and these type of questions from these subjects you have to ask.
Absolutely. I can definitely help with machine learning, deep learning, or any related topics. Just let me know what you're curious about or what you need help with, and we can dive in.
Ask me the questions from any of the topic. Because I don't have a specific topic. You have to.
No worries. If you're not sure exactly what to ask, you can just tell me what you're trying to figure out or what level you're at, like if you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and I can help you break it down.
From beginner, you have to start with a beginner and then you have to go to the advanced level.
Got it. That sounds like a great plan. So we can start with the basics, like what machine learning is, types of models, how training works, and then gradually ramp up to things like deep learning, architectures, optimization, and so forth. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that's great. You can ask. Yeah, ask.
Perfect. Then let's start with the basics. So, machine learning is basically a way to get computers to learn patterns from data rather than being explicitly programmed. Does that concept make sense so far, or do you want me to break down any part of it?
No, that's great. That's great explanation by you. I just wanna say that. Ask me the question to me, not you have to explain.
Gotcha. No problem at all. So, as a question, what do you think is the main difference between supervised and unsupervised learning?
Supervised learning is a learning where we have both the data, like we have a labeled data, we have input and output features we have, and on the basis of that we train our model. And on the another hand, we have a unsupervised learning where we have only input data and we don't have a labeled
Exactly. And with
data.
unsupervised learning,
We don't have a
right,
labeled data.
exactly. So in unsupervised learning, we only have input data, and the model tries to find patterns or groupings on its own, like clustering or dimensionality or reduction. Great job. Would you like another concept or a follow up question on this?
Yeah, you have to ask the another questions from the Python, deep learning, ML.
Of course. Let's bring in some Python. So, can you explain how you would implement a simple linear regression model using a popular library like scikit-learn?
Yeah, of course, I can tell you that's very simple. So from sklearn we have to select the model, which is a linear regression. Then we can take our features like x equals to input feature, then y equals to target variable, which is are going to be a continuous a column is going to be we are going to pick in the target variable. Then we can easily create a variable with the name model equals to linear regression. Then we can easily take all the things like before this we can take 20% for testing and 80% for training. And
Exactly. And
then
then after that,
we can evaluate it.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, we can evaluate it, and then we can train and then test. We can predict easily.
Exactly. So once you call the model's fit method on your training data, you can then use it to predict on your test set, and you can evaluate it using metrics like mean squared error. Perfect. Let me know if you want a different example or another concept.
Or another concept from the Python. Ask from the Python.
Sure. Let's stick with Python. Can you tell me how you would load a dataset, for example, using pandas, and then prepare it for training in a machine learning workflow?
Yeah, I can tell you. Basically, if we have a data in our computer, or if we have downloaded the data from different platforms like Kaggle and all.
Exactly.
So we can
No
easily
problem.
import it using the pandas library, like PD to like
Exactly.
CSV file. We
Yep,
can
exactly.
easily.
So you typically import pandas, load your dataset with something like pd.readcsv, and then you'd separate the features and target variables, getting them ready for model input. Does that make sense, or would you like a more detailed walkthrough?
Yeah, you have to ask me the Python fundamental questions.
Ah, got it. So let's do that. Here's a question. What is a Python dictionary, and how is it different from a list?
Okay, so dictionary and list are both are the data structures, but their
Ex-
format of storing the data is like really different. So a dictionary stores the data in key value pairs, and it has a unique values. And talking about the list, so list is basically store the data not in key value pairs. It only stores data in simple way. And talking about that, it uses the square bracket to store the data. And our dictionary takes the curly brackets to store the data.
Exactly. That's perfect. And also with a dictionary, you can quickly look up values by their keys, while a list relies on indexing by
Yeah,
position.
I know.
Great
We
job.
can
Do you want
easily.
another fundamental question?
Yeah, you can ask the another fundamental questions. 5 questions you have to ask, and then we can end the session.
Got it. Here's the next one. What is a function in Python, and how does it help in organizing code?
Function is a block of reusable code that we use to do any specific task. So it's a kind of block of reusable code that we use to do any specific task.
Exactly. And a function lets you reuse that code, so you define it once, and then you can call it multiple times with different X. Perfect. What's another fundamental concept you'd like to discuss?
Another you can ask.
Of course. Here's another one. What is a loop in Python, and what are the main types of loops you can use?
We have a different types of loop like for loop and while loop. So for loop is like it iterates over the iterable. So you have to find that from where to where you can go. So it's a for loop. And while loop is basically iterate over the condition. So while the condition is true, it is going to be run. So it depends on the condition.
Exactly. That's spot on. And both loops help you repeat tasks, just in different ways. One based on a sequence, and one based on a condition. Great. Ready for the next one?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, ask. Yeah, ask more questions.
Awesome. Here's another one. What is the difference between a Python class and an object, and how do they relate to each other?
Okay, so class is kind of a blueprint, or it's a design or template or a structure, we can say, that we create inside a Python. So class is like a structure or a blueprint or design, and object is the real thing that we basically create from the class. So object is the real, or it's a kind of a instance that we create from a class. And self is a like parameter which detects the location of the object. It knows the location.
Exactly. That's perfect. So the class defines the properties and behaviors, and then each object is an instance that actually uses those attributes and methods. Great job.
Yeah, ask the another question.
Of course. Here's the last one. What are Python's built-in data types? And can you name a few examples of each category, like numeric, sequence, and mapping types?
Okay, built-in data types. We have a built-in data types like integer, float, and string.
Yes, exactly. And then for sequences, you have things like lists, tuples, and strings. And for mappings, you have dictionaries. Great job. So those are some of the fundamental data types. If you're good with these, we can
So
wrap up
what are
or dive
the
deeper.
built-in data types? Can you tell me? are they built-in data types like of course for sequence we have a list, tuple, and dictionary and set, and for the like normal things so we have data types like integer, float, a string, right?
Exactly, you've got it. So all of these integers, floats, strings, lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries are built-in types. They give you a lot of flexibility when you're working with data in Python.
Okay, so we have also like a built-in function like print, length, and type. So these are the functions built-in. What are these?
Exactly. So those are built-in functions that let you interact with your data. For instance, print displays output, len gives you the length of a sequence, and type returns the data type of a variable. These are
Is
super handy.
input is also a function, a built-in function?
Yes, exactly. The input function is also built in. It lets you take user input from the console as a string, which you can then process or convert to other types if you need. So definitely another key one.
I got the essence of your talking. Like uh, we have a input function that we basically take the input from the user, and then we have also a print function that we use to show the output on the screen.
Exactly. And both are really useful in interactive programs. Input to get user responses and print to display results or feedback. Nicely explained.